Hello students, Dr. Poonam here with a new video, Far from the Madding Crowd. As we have been doing this novel, so today I will discuss the themes of the novel Far from the Madding Crowd. We can discuss about the writer of this novel. While Hardy wrote poetry throughout his life and regarded himself primarily as a poet. एक पोएट ही मानते थे हार्डी अपने आप को. His first collection was not published until 1898. Initially, he gained fame as the author of novels such as Far from the Madding Crowd. He has written this novel in 1874. Next novel, The Mayor of Casterbridge, in 1886. And the next novel, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, 1891, and Jude the Obscure in 1895. During his lifetime, Hardy's poetry was acclaimed by younger poets who viewed him as a mentor. After his death, his poems were lauded by Ezra Pound, W.H. Auden, and Philip Larkin. Many of his novels concern tragic characters struggling against their passions and social circumstances, and they are often set in the semi-fictional region of Wessex, initially based on the medieval Anglo-Saxon kingdom. Hardy's Wessex eventually came to include the counties of Dorset, Wiltshire, Somerset, Devon, Hampshire, and much of Berkshire in southwest and south central England. Two of his novels, Tess of the D'Urbervilles and Far from the Madding Crowd, were listed in the top 50 on the BBC's survey, The Big Read. So now we come to the themes of Far from the Madding Crowd. So in Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd, there are several different themes at work. One of the obvious is, of course, the theme of unrequited love. This is shown by Gabriel Oakes' love for Bathsheba. So love is a major theme of the novel. In fact, the plot revolves around Bathsheba trying to understand what love truly is and what type of man is worthy of giving her love to. Each of her suitors represents a different kind of love. Boldwood offers a love that is intense, obsessive, and functions like a form of ownership. He tries to buy her love with luxurious goods and promises of sharing in his prosperity. Then we see that one of the obvious is of course the theme of unrequited love is there. This is shown by Gabriel Oakes' love for Bathsheba. Boldwood's feeling for Bathsheba and Bathsheba's feeling for Sergeant Troy. Besides this theme, there is also the theme of catastrophe, when Oakes loses his sheep and eventually his farm is simply an occurrence of one bad event on top of another. As in all of Hardy's novels, the concept of class structure is also a recurring theme. Concept of class structure. Many of the people in England at this time were moving from the country to the city as England became more industrialized. बहुत से लोग उस वक्त हार्डी के समय में कहाँ जा रहे थे? मूविंग फ्रॉम द कंट्री, गाँवों से शहरों की ओर, टू द सिटी, है ना, टू द सिटीज. दे वर गोइंग टू द सिटीज एज इंग्लैंड बिकेम मोर इंडस्ट्रियलाइज्ड. It was more industrialized. Then Hardy was very concerned by the hierarchy. This novel also demonstrates, in this novel we see, I quote from this novel that how important social position was in England in the 19th century and of the opportunities that existed existed to change class in either direction. In the beginning, Oak and Bathsheba are social equals. He is an independent farmer who rents his land, and she lives on her aunt's farm next door to his, which is presumably similar in value. In the beginning, both were similar. The only thing that keeps her from accepting his proposal of marriage is the fact that she just does not want to be married yet. After Oak loses his farm and Bathsheba inherits her uncle's farm, there is little question of whether they can marry. Their social positions are too different. So, this is one question. So, Hardy was very much concerned by the hierarchy. जैसे ही बादशीबा जैसे ओक की प्रॉपर्टी ओक के फार्म्स he lost all his property, and on the contrary Bathsheba inherited her uncle's farm. So there was a question whether they can marry, क्योंकि दोनों के बीच में बहुत सारा डिफरेंस आ चुका था. जो उनकी हायरार्की थी वो बदल चुकी थी. So this was a very pertinent question. All of Hardy's novels deal, at least in part, with the theme of fate. Hardy was a fatalist. Fate, जो भाग्य जो रोल प्ले करता है वह हार्डी के नॉवेल्स में दिखाया गया है. सभी नॉवेल्स में all of the Hardy's novels they deal with the theme of fate. Hardy was a fatalist who believed that a man's choices do not affect his or her life. Everything is determined by fate, specifically in Far From the Madding Crowd. Fate is intertwined with the theme of unrequited love. Farmer Oak's love for Bathsheba is unrequited. Meanwhile, Bathsheba's consent to Boldwood's unwarranted. Are humans destined to love an individual? Can we will others to love us? These are the questions that Hardy asks in this novel. Then deceit is an important theme, since various characters create unfortunate situations through a lack of honesty. Bathsheba unleashes a long and tragic series of events through the simple and playful deception of sending Boldwood a valentine and misleading him about her feelings. Later, Troy repeatedly tricks and deceives characters around him, especially Bathsheba. He does not reveal the nature of his relationship with Fanny. And when he returns from America, he disguises his identity at the fair. The scale of deceit ranges from relatively harmless to very serious, and yet it always has negative consequences, showing that honesty and integrity are the ways to lead a happy life. So deceit is one another important theme, धोखा देना. Nature is also a major theme in the novel. Nature is a major theme, since the progress of the plot is closely tied to the passage of time, the change of seasons, and the rhythm of life on the farm. Cycles like the growing and harvesting of crops and the reproduction of the sheep structure the everyday lives of the characters and enable them to earn their livelihood. Gabriel's skill and success as a farmer stems from his ability to stay attuned to nature. Other characters like Troy fail to appreciate nature and see it as something they can mostly ignore or exploit for profit. Patience is shown as a virtue to be rewarded, even though it is not easy for characters to acquire. Gabriel takes a patient approach to his work, not being afraid of starting over and gradually progressing through his career. He also understands that doing form tasks slowly Farm tasks slowly and meticulously ensures they will be done well and supports the success of the farm in the long run. He takes the same approach to his feelings for Bathsheba, remaining steadfastly loyal to her even though she sometimes takes him for granted and seems to have fallen in love with another man. Bathsheba does not naturally display as much patience since she likes to follow her impulses, but she gradually learns to appreciate a slower and more careful approach to life. So, thank you.